This week we have the enormous honor of having Ms. Tourel with us to talk about singing and musical matters and anything that she feels like. Thank you for joining us, Ms. Tourel.
I'm delighted to be here with you, John. And it's quite a long time since I was in Dallas. You know that? The last time I was here when I sang with the orchestra.
And then you've also appeared here in recital before,
Oh, but that
too.
was before, yes. Yes.
One question that I'm eager to ask you, because it's a question that I'm always seeking an answer for, and that's, you have had a remarkable dual career because you have had great successes on the operatic stage and equally great successes in the recital hall. Now, this is very rare to find a singer who is sovereign in both areas. Why do you think that so few operatic singers are able to make the transition from the operatic stage to the recital stage?
Well, I guess time makes it. When I started my career, I started from the opera. And I say now to all of the young singers, the singers that have the endowment to become an opera singer, they should go ahead and do. They should go and sing operas. Opera gives an opportunity to a young singer to explore all the possibilities and have the outlet of the emotions, which are much nearer to a young singer than to a mature singer, because they are much more extrovert, and we have to be an extroverts when we're singing operas. Now, I enjoyed quite a wonderful career at the opera when I started the Opéra Comique in Paris, and my first role was Carmen. Well, that was one of the very rare things that happens to a singer, that you really start from the top. I loved it. I never thought about the song then, but very quickly I understood that a song somehow polishes the musical soul of a singer.
That's beautifully put.
And I became very interested. However, it was difficult for an opera singer to start with a concert career. So while I was living in Paris, I was singing at the opera. And my very first recital I gave in Holland, which somehow showed me that I really have to be very serious about that. Because everybody liked me in a recital then, and that's important for a singer, because we have to be liked, we have to be even loved.
Of course.
And I started to look into the matters much more seriously. After that came the war and Hitler, and I was forced out of Paris. I came to this country, wanted to become a singer at the Met, but it was difficult at this moment. I had to prove myself at that moment that I really am a singer. I was very, very lucky that I was chosen by Toscanini when he asked me to come and sing Romeo and Juliet by Berlioz to open the 100th anniversary of the Philharmonic. From that moment on, I started to sing. It was very interesting, Johnny, because at that moment, three great conductors like Toscanini, Stokowski, and Kusevitsky engaged me to sing within 4 months.
It's quite a beginning.
Well, it was. Well, after that, the Met engaged me. But the first thing I did before I went to the Met, I sang a recital. And I was acclaimed by the New York public and New York critics. Now, why? Somehow, I wish you would talk about, I'm sure you know what Virgil Thompson said about my first recital, which gave me the confidence and the strength to continue. He never mentioned the song to me. Not to me, I mean to the book, but to the review. But he mentioned that when I went yesterday to the recital of Jennie Tourel, it was like taking off on an airplane and going through a worldwide tour. Now, you know, I speak 5 languages. I sing in 10. So it was very easy for me to show all the original works. In opera, somehow all the singers think about, as I said, about the extrovert emotions, about a very nice high note, about singing loud and performing one character. For me, it was why I changed. It's just because I was a little bit tired of performing all the time the same character. For 4 hours, you are Carmen, that's all. Now, the emotions that I show is only of a girl that goes through from the beginning till the end for 4 hours in one story. And as I said, the interest was not as musical as when you become mature and you want to have an outlet for many more emotions than just one character.
We were talking earlier about Conchita Supervilla, who had a tremendous influence on you.
It was my ideal. When I was a student in Paris, I saw an announcement of Italian operas coming to Paris with Tullio Serafin and Conchita Supervilla. Of course, I didn't know her at all, and I went to see her. The first opera I saw with her was Cenerentola. At that time, I didn't know that mezzo-soprano can be also a coloratura. You see, she showed me that. And I said to myself, after I was absolutely overwhelmed, not only with her personality, but with her singing of this extraordinary thing in an enormous style and taste. I mean, she was an epitome of taste and good taste, you see. So I went home and I started. And I started to see if I can work out the flexibility in my voice. I did. And I proved that because I did sing Rosina at the Met, as you know.
The first mezzo Rosina at the Met.
That's right. And then I sang the Cenerentola and all the arias that I made for the Columbia recordings.
But you also were the person who followed Supervilla in Carmen at the Comique and became the most well-known Carmen of the day after her.
Yeah.
Did her Carmen influence you in any way?
Enormously. Now, she was one of these singers, too. When she was a Carmen, but she was a real Carmen. Carmen, in Supervilla's Carmen, was the right Carmen because she was a young girl in love. She was not a tramp. Her Carmen was a combination of Bizet Carmen and the Mermet story, which is important, In Mermet story, Carmen she doesn't want to go out with soldiers. She wants to go out with the officers. So she's much more. She's much more.
That's very interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
Yes. And so she sort of pretends to have she's on a bigger level than just a Spanish girl. And throwing up hips on the stage doesn't make a Carmen, but it's the soul of Carmen, which was very important. In the first, Carmen is a girl, a young girl. She's a girl that loves love and loves life. And she just has a ball all the time. When she first meets Don José, it's just because she likes the good time with the boys, and she loves the idea that all the boys are loving her, She's not a tragedian or tragedienne, I don't know how you say.
That's great.
From the beginning, the tragedy of Carmen comes when she begins to feel that she has enough of Don José. And then in the third act, then she begins to be it's a drama in her life.
So do I interpret this to mean that you feel Carmen is a role for a young singer?
Oh, well, of course. I think so. Well, what is a young singer? What is it? The young singers in the opera, they're young singers. Maybe with the mentality of a young singer naturally is a much more exploited, from that point of view than a mature singer. But we're all young when we start in the opera, as I said. John, I say something that there are very few singers that would go into a research when they want to interpret a role. We have to be a little bit of an intellectuals too when we sing a role. Before I started to sing Carmen, I was exploring all the possibilities of Carmen, all the stories of Carmen too. I went to the museum to look at the Goya paintings and see what it is to be dressed like a Carmen, like a Spanish girl. I didn't want to make a half of a job. I wanted to make a big job of that. But nowadays, they think if they can sing a habanera and flip the hips, they are Carmens. But that's not. There is a terrific psychology in
pride, isn't it?
Well, naturally. That's why she says, kill me, but let me go through. But if you don't want to let me go through, then kill me. I'm not afraid, yes. You see, it's all this, I love Escamillo. I don't love anybody else. I can't love two people. That's so when she loves Don Jose, she doesn't love anybody else, you see. And that's the psychology of a woman that has a terrific pride in her. But it's not a tramp.
No.
No.
I agree with you.
Well, I'm glad you do.
Which brings me to another point. Having had the experience of when you were very young of coming into the operatic world at a time when there were still many greats like Supravia and like Muzio and other people, how I think you have a very unique vantage point about what's happened in the world of song. And I think a tremendous change has taken place in the last years in the style and the approach and the type of singing. May I ask you just what do you think has happened to singing since the early days of your career?
Well, since we're talking about Supervia, I think she was the first one to show me what a recital is, what is a singer, what are the appropriate things for a singer to be able to be a concert singer. I understood with her for the first time the power of communication, which she projected in the full size of it. I remember I used to walk away from her recitals in Paris, walking through the streets in a trance because she moved me. And that was my background. Doesn't matter whenever she sang, whatever she sang, I was there. I was dedicated to that idea. Nowadays, the young singers, they're dedicated to commercialism. And that's why the ideal of singing is very, very rare.
They're in a hurry.
They're in a hurry to make they're in a hurry to make her their debut, to get to the stardom without being a star. A star has to show something, something special, not just, to become a publicity animal.
No.
Nowadays, everything with the management, of course, I was brought up, again, on a different kind of careers. No management, no critics. And I was, for me, the main thing was to, as I said before, to be liked and loved by the public. I wanted to bring my whole being, my whole blood, my mind, my heart, my soul to the people. I don't encounter very many people right now, and I'm blessed with this kind of situation that I'm on the stage now for many, many years. When I came to this country, it was still that, we still had Elizabeth Schumann, we had Lotte Lehmann, we had, I don't remember anything, but those were the most important singers at that time when I came. And there were recitals, and that generation was really educated with these people. And then it fell off because later on came the attractions. The management wanted to send attractions to the sound. I remember when I first came to this country and I gave my first recital, it was like hitting someone between two eyes, because they didn't know what's happening. That the woman I don't speak about New York naturally, but I speak about very small towns when Columbia sent me on the community concerts. But I didn't go down to the public. I wanted the public to come up to me.
Oh, amen.
And I never wanted to have a success with only that I'm going to sing some song that they can hum.
Yeah.
My feeling of my concerts at that time was I wanted to bring my heart to the audience, sing out my heart. And I always believe that no matter how big is an audience, there's as many hearts as the audience, and when one heart speaks to another, it's understood. But you've got to be able to it's a give and take thing.
And you've got to have something to say too.
Well,
and
but
to want
as
to
I say, it's a give and take thing, But right now, the young people, they just want to take. They don't want to give anything.